नीतू जी अभी मत कीजिएगा, एक बार पार्टिसिपेट बढ़ने जाए देन अभी मत कीजिए। You can start. आप शुरू करें.
Namaste, greetings to all of you from, to all our viewers from across the world. Export Promotion Council for Handicrafts is an apex institution of promotion of handicrafts in India. And we have been organizing knowledge sessions. Our, the IHGF fair is going to start very soon, that is from 13th. And we have been already having many workshops already and knowledge seminars. Today we are here for a workshop for Generation Next. Impact of COVID-19 is all pervasive. It has penetrated all domains of our lives, and handicrafts and lifestyle products will be no exception. There are going to be a change, a paradigm shift in the preferences of consumers, and we have now new kind of trends and forecasts. And in this workshop, we have with us Dr. Professor Sen Gupta. He'll be taking this workshop for Generation Next exporters. Let me introduce Professor Sen Gupta to all of you. He's a futurist, a trend forecaster, a color psychologist, business strategist, and academician from India. He's an associate professor of NIFT India, and he's currently also the lead analyst of Vision XT, a mega project undertaken by NIFT under Research and Development Initiative of Government of India. Over 2 decades, Dr. Sen Gupta has shared his expertise with international and national brands to help them with insights and product strategies. Before I request Dr. Sen Gupta for his lecture, for his workshop, I would also like to welcome all our panelists. They all are second generation exporters. They are not designers, but they are exporters. They manufacture. So we have Beenam with us, we have Rishabh, we have Kirat, and we also have Aditya. And of course, I think in our viewers list, of course, we have so many exporters who are from Gen Next, who represent Gen Next, and they will also be gaining a lot from this workshop. I've already introduced Dr. Professor Sen Gupta, and I request him to begin his presentation.
Good afternoon. So let me first share my screen. So Mr. Rawat, my screen is visible. Can you see my screen? Okay. So let's start. I will just brief you about this workshop's procedure in the next few slides. Maybe you will get an interesting insights of how to approach towards it. But let me tell a little bit about what Madam has already informed. We have worked for a group of brands. These are few brands I have worked for. Other than that, there are also a few more brands. These are all international brands, research institutions across the world. And some of them are big conglomerates of brands like Grupo Adio or Diego. So let's proceed further. When you move on, so this is what you are looking forward in next 60 plus minus minutes. It's going to be a master class where I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. A cheat sheet means a quick way to understand product design, very fast way to understand product design. And designer need not be someone who has studied design, but understands products better. So a cheat sheet for that. We are also going to learn about trends and the product directions post-pandemic. You will also learn how to do a deep dive insight for your brand and company to integrate those trends for your product development. Now, of course, we'll have a Q&A section. So I just wanted to add here is that you should stay back with us till the end of the workshop, because the workshop is going to benefit you till end, and those who stays back, I'm going to share this deck with them. So I'll share this presentation, so you don't need to capture this. I'll send you the presentation at the end of the discussions. So don't worry about it. Keep your questions noting down. You can put it into chat box. Our panelists will pick up the questions to let me answer them, or they can answer back. So once we start that, let me also guide you a little bit about how it happens. So when we talk about handicraft, many of us refer handicraft as an art piece. But there's a significant difference between an art and design, or a well-designed product. So I just wanted to add this in the beginning, because if you say that you are developing an artifact or a sculpture, then preferably this is not for you, because you are not a product design centric company. When we say art, art is an individual's expression. It may not be something which has a process. It may not be having a strong consumer focus. It cannot be copied, because the moment you copy art, it never remains an art. So when you are doing a prototyping and you can reproduce the product, we always consider that as a designed product. And a well-designed product should always satisfy a need. So I have given two examples. Here is Dali's representation of time, and that's Apple's representation of time. So if you say Dali's, it's a painting, and Apple has come out with a product. It is not just a time, it is more than a time, and it can be reproduced. So this is what is the difference between art and design. A simple example of it. So art can become a piece which you are not creating or recreating. You are just creating once, and that's all. And you don't need to explain why you have done that. If people likes it, it goes to a museum or somebody's house. But if you are creating it for a purpose, that means it has, say for example, here it becomes a lampshade. So if you have a purpose, it's no more an art, it's a product. So let us very clearly understand what are these differences. So when we proceed further, more than that, what we need is very simple formula, because this is a formula which I have already implemented to multiple companies, and it will help you a lot. It's a formula called HVG formula. It's a happiness, value, and goodness formula. It's a model. So if you can implement this model, you can design any product. It's very simple model to design, because many automobile companies have done that. Many retailers have done that. So if you are doing a good design product, you should have a HVG model. So how this model works is very simple. Your product should make a consumer happy. How they are getting an happiness? By satisfying their need, or they are getting something which they never actually asked for, right? And that becomes a point of a happiness. So if your product is making your consumer happy, the product is a good product. So that's the first point. Second product is that it should have an enhanced value. That means more than a happiness, what they have asked for. If you gave something better than that, or something extra than that, that's absolutely valuable. For example, I'll give an example of a Maggi, right? It's just a quick 2 minutes noodle, which you can cook anywhere and you can eat anywhere. So that's a happiness point. But Maggi gives more than that. It gives Maggi masala. It also gives you to cook at any time, at any way you want to do. You want to cook it with a Manchurian style, you can do that. So that's an added value of Maggi, as a product scenario. But apart from that, a good product should also be meaningful to the society and environment. Maggi is not creating a packet which is environmental friendly. So I'm not saying Maggi is the greatest product. So a product has to be meaningful to the society and environment. So if you can categorically put these 3 points, you are actually looking for a good product. So if you move forward a little bit, we will come to the point of happiness. We call them as need. And for that, what I follow is a very simple formula, which we are learning from the beginning. It's a Maslow's hierarchy of need. You know that it's a hierarchy of need. But how it works? It works as simple as which category of the need your product is catering to. Is your product catering to a basic need? Right? Is it a basic need of a bag to carry a material? And that's all, you are catering to that level. Are you catering to the next level, which is a social need or an esteem need? Right? Or you are actually giving a product to a self-actualization need. So I'll give you an example of it in the next slide. A very simple example which I like is this one. Right? You have a phone, you have a mobile phone. The basic need of a mobile phone is to call and send an SMS. If you are creating that and you are satisfying that need, you are great. Don't try to do the next level, because if you have a good client base, do that. Next level is someone who's looking for a smartphone, because this basic Nokia mobile phone or any mobile phone might not be allowing you to get a great peer or friendship, you know, I mean, until unless you have a smartphone. So smartphone is a social need at this moment. And third level is a branded smartphone like an iPhone. You know, we know that iPhone doesn't have a battery life more than say 40 minutes. Now they have a 1-day battery life, but beyond that it cannot stay back. There are a lot of other issues, but we buy it because it also gives us an esteem need that I have an iPhone, right? And then that can get a good picture. But beyond that, the fourth level of need is ideological need. The need is not about calling, not about having WhatsApp, not about having an iPhone, but having something which others don't have. And then in that case, what comes in your need is a phone called Vertu Mobile. You must be knowing a mobile phone called Vertu Mobile. It's not a great looking phone, but it has its own network system. And most of the most influential people have a Vertu Mobile. So if you are having a Vertu Mobile, it shows that you are much better doing than others. But you can also have a Apple Watch or iWatch which has a phone integrated in it. So how you want to approach to your ideological need, that you are a techie, then you are buying an iWatch. Or you are not a techie, but you have a lot of money, then you can buy a Vertu Mobile, right? And when it comes to bags, it's as simple as that. If a mother wants to carry diaper, she can carry a diaper in a simple canvas bag. What she needs for a child is a diaper, a bottle of water, and a bottle of milk. It can go to any bag, right? It's a basic need. But you want to go to a party and you want to show that your child product is safe in a diaper bag, a bag which only keeps materials for the child. So you have a diaper bag for that, right? And when you are going somewhere for a social meet, you should carry a diaper bag to show that you can carry a diaper bag. Then in the third need, you want to show that you have a Gucci diaper bag or a Chanel diaper bag. You know that the bag's lifespan is just 6 months to 1 year, because after that the child is going to grow and you may not use that bag. But you have money to spend and buy that bag. It's an esteem need. And then you come to a level where someone is vegan, someone is sustainable, and she says that I'm going to use a diaper bag which will be made out of the used canvases or gunny bags, and I'm using it as a diaper bag because that's my ideology. I don't want to carry a branded product. No? So you have to decide in which category of the product your line belongs to. And you cannot cater to all. Believe me, you cannot cater to all. Only 2 people in the world can cater to all. One is the political party, and second one is God. Other than that, none of us can cater to all, right? So you have to select which category of the product you belong to. But what happens here is a very simple formula. This is not my formula. It was earlier given by IDEO, then modified to it. Is that we have to first understand consumer and the human values of him or her or them. See, if you can see these 3 factors, one is called human values, them who is using it, and them who is producing it. And then there is a point of technology. The trend looks nice, but do I have the technology to do it? If I don't have a technology, why should I spend my time to even understand that trend, right? And then the third point comes as business. Do I have the investment as that to actually do that? Can I do this? Can I make it in my country? So these 3 pointers are very important to choose a trend which you will follow for your product line. So for me, what I understood very well is that a product, when you are designing, has to be prudent. Prudent means the product should be at least understandable and valued for the near future. You cannot make a product for only today. The product has to stay to near future. So if you cannot satisfy to the near future, nobody is going to invest in that product, especially for a handicraft, which is at least a valuable product. The product has to be valued in near future. Then only somebody invests in the product at long. So these are the 3 broad categories or themes. What's going to happen is post-pandemic. I have tried to concise it into 3 broad themes. These are called post-pandemic global trend directions. I am giving here the global directions. it is not only meant for India, it is a global scenario or global impact. So these directions have 3 pointers. One line of products will be coming out of a theme called Wanderers. Second theme is called Homers. And in the third theme, we call them as the Dreamers. This will have two sub-themes under that, so I'll show about this. Feel free to note down the pointers. Feel free to ask me after this presentation. So when we talk about wanderers, wanderers will be a group of individuals who will be having 2 different mindsets or 2 sub-themes. One of them will be artistics and one of them will be grounders. So artistics will be them who will be thinking about creativity, intellectualism. They'll be thinking about products which help them to show that they can think better, they can actually creative, or they can do many other different things. So creativity is one part for the artistics. Grounders will be actually looking for the health conscious, well-being oriented products. So if you see them, wanderers are basically looking forward to either explore their elements in the mind or elements in the body. So if you see, wanderers are actually imploring to find out their own capabilities on both rounds. Right? So I'll go for one sub-segment as artistics. Artistics will be a group of individuals who will be looking forward to involve their artistic capabilities into design their own products, like this one. This is very interesting. If you see that this cross-stitching is going to come in trend everywhere, including the furnitures what you are designing, including the bags you are designing, or the jewelries. Interestingly, this cross-stitching can be also given as a DIY, where you keep the product as punched and let them do the cross-stitching. You can give a cross-stitch book to him or her, you can give the needles and you can give the thread and let them explore. So this is one big trend which is going to come, where you are actually allowing the individual to explore their own creativity. And they can change it whenever they want it. One more big trend what is going to come is collaboration. It's not that we individually can do things. We understood in this world individually we cannot do things. We are not machineries. We cannot do things. The world has gone where collaboration is a big thing. So as a company, as an exporter, you can also collaborate with another exporter to create better products. Here what I am showing is the artists who is collaborating with the brands to create products. And there's no harm in giving the credit to both. So Powwow has been collaborated with a brand called Hyperfly. So they have collaborated together to come out with this beautiful garment artworks. And then both of them are taking credit for that. Right? So collaboration is a big thing and it's happening everywhere. Artistic products like this, where if you are a designer for the bags, think about artistic products. It's not about only creating the flowers. It's about creating things with an artistic thing. For example, you can create a bag embroidery inspired by Van Gogh's art. Right? You can create an artwork on the product inspired by Renoir's art. So it's not about just an embroidery. It's about a theme and a story and an artistic expression on the product. You can do that. There is also a big trend of repurposing. Repurposing is a big product trend where you can ask them to send the furniture to you. You give them a relook. So at this time of pandemic, this is going to be a big trend where people doesn't want to spend big money on buying new products. They may look forward to repurpose their products. So if you see that big designers are doing it, Sabyasachi is doing it, and then they are saying they are purposeful designer. And you can also look forward for this kind of directions. Very interestingly, floral motifs will be everywhere. This is a French designer, Natalia. She has done these beautiful floral motifs on her own home. And it can come in products. It is going to come in products in different ways. It is going to be muted. It's not going to be bright, realistic flower. You can see this is how in furniture it's going to come, that large. This is a new product technique. It's called Ducompe. It's a Ducompe is basically a French technique which is going to implement artwork or a print on a product with hand. So it's not a machine printed furniture. It's a handcrafted prints. So Ducompe, if you want to know more, you can read about it. There are a lot of YouTube videos how to do it. And there's a very interesting way to show that I am taking my time to create a product for you. And it's all a repurposed product. They can send the furniture, you can do a Ducompe on top of it. And it's not only coming in furniture, it's also coming in bags. These are the bags created on Ducompe. This is basically a macrame. And then on top of it, it's done in Bali. And it's entirely handcrafted. right? So if you are thinking about it, think about hand painting, think about to compare different ways of printing on the product. This is a big inspiration for me, Hugo Franca's furnitures. Think about furnitures which are actually made with repurposed material, not colored, just finished. So what Hugo does is basically, he makes furnitures out of drifted wood or drifted boards. So he just takes it, cleans it, and gives it a shape of a furniture. He's not doing more than that. Here, more important part here is the story behind this furniture and how he collects these products or materials as such. Grounders, if you are looking forward for the products which will be helping an individual to practice at home, grounders is a good mindset or a theme. Grounders will be them who will be looking forward for health conscious products or allowing them to practice things at home. So this is a very interesting product for me. It becomes a dining table or a coffee table at the time when it's not being used. In other time, it becomes a push-up table, push-up corner. And then the small stools can become a weight. So you can think about this kind of multi-use products when it comes to there, but also very interesting products as this is coming. These are rowing practice at home. You know that we cannot go out. So this is entire made in wood and the technology, and anyone can practice rowing at home. And this is just like your furniture. It enables an individual to practice rowing at home. So it's a serious sports product at home. You can see how it's been used. It's very simple. So think about products which allows individual to do things at home, especially exercise. If you're thinking about home-based exercise. This is a new product category coming in. It's called biodefense. Multiple products are coming under that, including the product sanitizers. So if there is a phone, their phone sanitizers are coming in. We call sterilizer. And then in India also, we do have a lot of biodefense products being launched. This is one of them, made in India. It's under the scenario, biodefense products will be very important for the grounds. They look forward for a lot of biodefense products. So if you can incorporate this in your product scenario in furniture, this is good. Also for them who's actually designing accessories, think about this kind of product. This from a brand called GOC. GOC is a very interesting brand. They make sanitizer carriers. And carrying sanitizer is going to be a long trend. Believe me, it's going to be a long trend. So sanitizing carrier or sanitizer carrier is going to be a trend. It can be a wristband, it can be a belt. Think about different ways of doing it, or it can be simply a pouch to carry sanitizer. So think about all of these when you are actually thinking about product design and accessories. So if you are looking for grounders as a segment, this is what we are offering you. Grounders will also look forward for multi-use products, like for example, a safe flask can go in a bag, and how to carry that in a very simple scenario, like this Del Page's product. The second theme or a large theme comes as homers. So if you are interested in the products at home, so homers can be a big theme. It has two sub-themes under that. One of them is called homescapers. So homescapers will be the one who will be looking forward for the products which will allow them to create a landscaping scenario at home. Homers is not only for home. Homers is going beyond home. So this mindset is in fact coming in offices. So I'll show you how offices are preparing themselves to convert it into a home-like scenario. So if an individual is looking forward to go to office is going to give them a feel of a home. So homers is that mindset or category. Shiners are basically them who is looking forward for the brighter products at home to lift the mood. So I'll show you both the product categories here and the kind of directions it's coming. For example, a very interesting category comes is what LG has launched a fridge, a refrigerator to cultivate vegetables. So home gardening is going to be a big trend, and this is what LG has done. So it's a refrigerator where actually you can do a farming at home, and you can create your home gardening. You can just take it out and have a salad or a dressing. Similarly here, Bandita's product, it's a Bandita Studios product. It's a light, but you can actually create your vegetables or a small salad dressing at home. So homers will go forward for creating things at home, especially in the homescapers. Small gardens at home, especially the workspaces, will be coming in. So think about products around it as this, what you can see here. And then there will be a very interesting product which is essential at every home is a dispenser rack. How beautifully you can make a dispenser rack or a sanitizer rack. You know, you can have a sanitizer, you can give things like a towel, you think whatever things an individual needs near to door to hang. So along with the key, this is something which is going to be an essential product for every home. Now, believe me, there is nothing as such as a product category to hang a sanitizer at home. So this is a big product category for you, especially for the homescapers. Home offices are going to grow. When we are talking about home offices, I have shown this picture earlier also. You can think about a lot of products to be developed in the home office, including the pen holder, desktop holder, a lot of compact products. But think about furniture at large. Think about furniture as this, because these products, these furniture are simple and they are absolutely useful for home and office. You can see, we just need to create the groups. It's a very simple product, no decoration, basic finish, but you can keep your iPad, you can keep your pencils, you can keep your products, and you can just work on your laptop. And that's an absolutely beautiful product category. Also, small accessories, as this is going to be important because you need a more space at table to work, and you cannot afford a water bottle to fall and break. So for that, you need to have accessories as this to add on. So think about products around a home office scenario. HP has launched a laser printer, which is basically for home office. So you can convert your office home into office with all these gadgets being launched. There is this app, there's a very interesting app. I tried it, you can try. This app actually allows you to create an environment in an office at home. So you can note down this, or I can give you the deck anyway. It's misstheoffice.eu. You can try download this app, and when you are working at home, you don't want any disturbances and you want to have a feel of an office, this creates noise of an office at home. So there are a lot of products coming into this category, and these are all interesting scenarios. Products which will be used at home purpose and office purpose, like this table, which can just go inside the sofa and it is working like a table for the laptop. It can also be a morning table to read a book or have a tea, coffee. Or the product like this, it's an absolutely beautiful product. It has a laptop holder. It can be converted into standing and working on a laptop. It can be also converted into a table where you can just walk it in the kitchen. Right? So this kind of multi-use products are coming in. But believe me, offices are also preparing to open, and they need products for the office. Interestingly, if you see this is an office. Office is trying to create a home environment in the office because they know you are coming back after long. Consumers will be back to office after long, but they're used to its home environment. How to help it out? So office is giving this kind of desk, which looks like a piano table, but you can actually convert it into a small secret space for you when you are working at office. No disturbances, and you feel still like a home. Or many offices are allowing pets to bring. So this is an office table where actually you can bring your cat, and the cat can also play on the table where you will work. Nice design. I don't know how it will work in Indian office, but yes, it's a great design even to keep at home. So you know how these office spaces are preparing itself. It has a small lounge, it has a kitchen space, it has all the sofas to work. So think about products in office. Like this one. It can become a conference table, but it can also become a very interesting table to play for. So, you know, I mean, you have games integrated in a serious office space. This is an office. Believe me, this is an office. It actually looks like a kitchen. They have kitchenettes. They have these cupboards to keep the file, but it gives you a feel of a kitchen. This is an office space to work. So products as this is coming, where in one side, you can have a small desk to work, and in the other side, you have a couch. You can just go and relax. So this kind of products are going to come a lot in a space of an office and design as well. Or a product like this, where you have a small desk, which if you can tilt, it can become a resting space. You can take a siesta at that space. And that's how it's important. When we move forward, you also have a multi-use products as this, where you are getting a small Z-like structure, where you can either keep a spice or you can create your art products, or you can keep your pen. So a multi-use products like this, and this is balanced, it is not going to fall. Product packagings are changing. So if you see that your toothpaste packagings are changing, so that's a bottle for the bare necessities toothpaste. So toothpaste may not come after some time into a tube. It is going to come in a glass jar with a metal cover, or the small dispenser, which looks like a sanitizer pack, but it's toothpaste, and the product is made out of reclaimed plastic. That means it's made out of recycled plastic. So this kind of products are going to be at home, in home space. This is a very interesting product for you. This is a very common product we have in India, but we never used it in this way. This is a loofah. It's a material which we actually use in our bathroom to take shower. They have used this beautifully to create a heat resistant on a terracotta product. We never thought of. There's a beautiful product. It's a loofah collection by Fernando. It's a beautiful product. It's a tea or coffee holder with a loofah on top of it. Think about local solutions. Circular economy will be something which you are looking forward. So think about local solutions. I'll show you some more products of Fernando. It's nice, it's beautiful. It's a divider made out of loofah. And it's a small planter made out of loofah. It's a beautiful product. These are the planters. Think about these simple solutions. Don't think about importing materials from abroad. You have products around you. We never use them. Use these products or materials. This is a loofah light. Think how beautifully they have integrated loofah in a light. No plastics, no glass. It's a loofah. It is semi-transparent, so the light comes out. And the below is a loofah table. It has a loofah filled in the table part for anesthetics. A new material is called cork. It's an African cork, which is being used in furniture. There are other materials like hemp. Hemp is still available in India. The furniture is made out of hemp. This replaces wood. This replaces plastics. Beautiful furniture. This is designed by Philip, made out of hemp. And this is something which you can actually look forward. This is a material which is textile, waste material which comes from the factory. So you can glue them, join together, use organic glue, join them together, create furniture. It's a beautiful furniture that I'm on there. It's a solid furniture made out of industrial recycled material. You can also think about plastics, thrown about plastic bags. These are the bags, plastic bags converted into furniture. Think about this kind of solutions for home, rather than adding plastics more into the scenario. And this is a homegrown initiative. This is called Carbon Craft Design. Carbon Craft Design is in Mumbai. You can connect them. Carbon Craft Design is basically taking the carbon monoxide from the air and then converting them into tiles. So these are very interesting float tiles. They are making float tiles in a traditional way and basically made out of the smoke and the dust which goes on the air. So carbon monoxide is being used to make those tiles. And if you know that these tiles can be also used for furniture, it can be a tabletop. Nobody used it. I don't know anybody used it, but you can always collaborate with them or individuals like them who has come out with beautiful product materials and come out with the products in your end. And this can be done. Terrazzo is going to be a big trend at home space because it gives you a nostalgic feeling of a retro home. But terrazzo is going to move into a different direction. It's not going to be a terrazzo as it used to be. Terrazzo is going to be as this. These are made out of recycled construction materials, collected and then converted into terrazzo. So you can create furniture, you can create lights, you can create floorings, anything out of the industrial recycled construction material. And you can give a nice story along with it saying that this is how it's going to happen. Homescapers are also going to use a lot of other products like this one. This is made out of tire. These are used tires which are converted into small pellets and then it's like a rubber. It can be used for furniture. It can be used for cushions. It can be used for multiple other products. Another material which is used from discarded leather. This is a furniture made out of discarded leather. So think about this kind of solutions to make you unique in product categories. I always give this example of how this brand is doing. It's Phool. Phool is actually recycling the flowers from the local temples and converting them into incense sticks. So our local economy, our circular economy is something which we are looking forward under this category of homescapers. Homescapers will also look forward for mixed craft product. For example, you are into ceramics, you can mix with somebody who is working in cane and then create these beautiful products. These products are a mix of two crafts together. And this is beautiful, it looks nice, and it gives a new story to the consumer as product category. Also, storytelling will be an important part in your product. A good example of this brand called Peter Rabbit, that takes a character of a rabbit, creates beautiful stories around it, and that goes in every ceramic product. Or InDish also takes a local story and converts them into a graphics on a product. So think about this kind of a graphics on a product if you are looking forward for homescapers. Because when somebody stays at home, they need to tell a beautiful story about the products around. And that's why the storytelling becomes an important part. Another important product category will be those who will be inducing rest, distressing, and sleep. It's going to be a big trend, including the prints of cloth or sleep-inducing prints, or a floor heating or cooling mat, or something called a sleeping aid, like the sleeping rock. Aromatherapy is going to be a big thing. So if you are thinking about furnitures, also think about aromatherapy, because that's going to be a big trend in the home. Everybody is distressed. Most of them, 1 out of 6 in India is sleep deprived. It is worst in rest of the countries, like in Japan and States. So aromatherapy will be an important part for your product designing. Think about products like this. These are made out of lava stone. Lava stone is something which is porous, and you can pour a little bit of aroma oil in it, and it sprays across. It's a beautiful product scenario. Think about products in these categories. Also think about small products like this, like a tabletop accessory, like a small accessories as a candle holder, as this, and these are all made out of lava stone. And this will be, lava stone will be an important part for the designing as such. Also, we have a subcategory called shiners. If you are thinking that everybody is going to be a product, it is not, because there will be a lot of people who are looking forward for bright colors. So shiners will be them who will be looking forward for the colors at home. There will be bright, colorful furnitures. Everybody will be looking forward for a bright, colorful furniture if they belongs to shiners. The ceramics are coming in that category, where the ceramics are going to be bright and colorful, because we have been locked down for long, almost 3 months, somewhere 40 days, 50 days. So everybody wants colors. You know what's happening across the world. Slowly the world is opening up. So everybody wants to add colors in their products. These are all stickers. These are large mega printed stickers on refrigerator. And people are putting these stickers on refrigerator. I want one, but I don't know from where to get it. But this is something which is interesting. You know, we are looking forward for fun. We are looking forward for happiness and a lot of color. Like these products, I'm showing 2 Indian brands. One is called Akkar Bakkar. Akkar Bakkar has this very interesting childlike scribbler on the products, which looks interesting and happy. And this is from a brand called Bobo Calcutta, Ayushman's product. It's a cushion which is interesting. Also, you already know that Vogue has launched this page last month, or is it this month? This is Vogue's cover, and Vogue has tied up with Takashi Murakami to design this cover. It has nothing related to fashion. It has nothing related to product, but pure happiness. Certain products will be fun and pure happiness, like this cushion from Bhushan Doshi. It's not a serious product. It's an interesting happiness product. I am coming to the last category of the theme. It's called Dreamers. It's a beautiful theme, and I like this personally. It has 2 sub-themes. It has rejuvenates, somebody who wants to escape and rejuvenate, and then we have a neo-sensualist. So Dreamers is a large theme where everybody is dreaming for a better world. They are dreaming to escape from a homebound scenario. Even they know the virus is in the air. Dreamer is a category. They are looking forward to escape and being boho. They just want to relax at certain times. So let me introduce you to Rejuvenists as a theme. This is what Dior has launched a day back. This is Dior's 2021 collection. It's a haute couture collection, and Dior has launched a collection based on dream. And if you see that, it's a old retro garments coming back. So this is Dior shoot. You can see this video in Dior's website. It's a beautiful video. It takes you back to 1930s, 1920s. And a very beautiful video to show how Dior products are moving. So dream is a better, fantasy is a better world to look at. This is what our designers are doing. This is Manish Arora launching the designs. If you see Manish's design, it's absolutely talking about green. It talks about yellow farming land. It talks about pink ice cream. And the other side, you have Rahul Mishra's collection. It's a mask, which is beautiful. So Rahul Mishra calls it as a butterfly peep. So if you see that, this is what actually happens across the world. Everybody is looking forward for escaping and having a better world. A big trend is coming towards mushroom. If you are looking towards the trend direction, you will see mushrooms are increasing. So rejuvenists as a sub category, mushroom will be a big direction. So if you're talking about mushroom, this is what Fashionista has wrote a few days back. 24 June, they have written about mushroom as a trend. But mushroom is actually a very interesting product, even Escape. There is a mushroom resort in Jamaica. If you're interested to go and visit resorts, you should do that. There's a resort called Myco Meditation. It's a resort which meditates with mushroom. It's a very interesting magic mushroom. I never tried it, but magic mushroom is something which is growing as a bigger trend direction. So mushroom is also a symbol of escapism. That part of it. Mushroom is coming in furnitures, beautiful furnitures and beautiful lampshades done with mushroom. And it is going to come as prints in products across. If you are looking forward for bags, look for mushroom prints. Retro mushroom prints will be something which is everywhere, almost everywhere, going to come. Also, there will be a rejuvenation of the earlier skills. Like, for example, these bags, which used to be made in raffia, is going to come back in trend. So it's a repurposing and rejuvenation of the craft works which we have left earlier. Very interesting products. Also a product which is sensible to the nature. So this is V-Wood watch, which is made out of wood, but it's a repurposed wood. That means it's a used wood which is converted into a watch. Very interesting product scenario. Whereas in other line, among the rejuvenists, they are looking forward for finding out the old. We have played Mario at one time. So Mario is back. Mario has collaborated with Levi's, and Mario prints are going to come in the product. So Mario prints are something which is everywhere. But when you are designing, please don't copy graphics as this, because Mario is a licensed product. Don't use a Mario as it is, because it can sue you on the product categories. Think about that. Also, this one, Eastpak has tied up with Smiley. Smiley is a product. So Eastpak has tied up with Smiley, and the Smiley is coming in product with Eastpak. So Smiley is that graphics which we normally use everywhere, but it's a product. Bright shoes are coming as an accessories, because shoes and accessories are something which people can invest in color. They may not invest that much on garments in color, but they'll invest in accessories when they want to add color when they are going out. So bright color shades are coming in as yellows as one color. So shades will be having brighter color, because when you are going out and you want to show a brighter mood and you want to escape from the depression, this is what we are looking forward as scenarios. Brighter accessories are coming at lot. This is Converse, who launched a bright yellow shoe as part. A lot of sportswear. If you are into active sports, think about brighter color products coming in active sports. But interestingly, there will be very thoughtful other products which might not go by the colors and graphics, but into the utility part, like a sleeping bag, which is very interestingly fitting properly on you. Sleeping bags very difficult to fit in. It looks like a square, but this or a rectangle. This sleeping bag fits on your body. So this kind of small innovations are coming in products. Whereas this, it's called Spaceman. It's a design. It's a brand called Spaceman. They're coming out with materials with antibacterial or antiviral. So this material is being used by Spaceman for the bags. They are using it for the garments and hoodies. So if somebody is going out, they need this kind of products. Also a mask. Don't think masks are going to go. Masks are going to stay back. But masks are going to be more technical. Masks are going to be more realistic, and it's going to protect an individual. And you don't think that because the pandemic has happened, nobody's going to party. The moment lockdown gets over, everybody's going to jump in party. You already know what happened in London. They have taken over the lockdown, and you can see the pictures how people are going out to party. So please prepare your shiny collections, because shinies will go out. All bright shining accessories will be ready to go out in parties. And this is one category under the rejuvenists. They want to rejuvenate through all the elements they have across. So we come to the last segment. It's called neo-sensualist. It's a very sensual segment. It's pastel. It's appealing, but it's appealing in a different way. So neo-sensualists will be looking forward for the colors which are sensual, keep things active, make people more romantic and dreamy. So products like this, which will have a tactile element. So if you're looking forward for the furniture, look for Amy Paoni's furniture. It has a tactile element hanging down to it. It has a touch and feel in it. Or products like this, it's called a tactile product where you can put your feet and you feel like a grass and you feel a different element in it. It's a very interesting product. It's a sitter where you feel grass under your feet and it has small things coming out to it. It's a Nubbles, very interesting product. Or otherwise, a curvy product like this is Nanushka's product, very interesting sofa. It has a lot of curve. It's not geometric. Organic curvy shapes are going to come under sensualism. Or a very interesting product like this is made up entirely by glass. It's not a new product. It's Zaha Hadid's old product collection, but this is becoming more relevant at this time when you are looking for sensuality out of the product. Imagine this table in someone's home, which gives like a water. It looks like water ripple, how refreshing it will be at certain time. Or furniture as this, it's called ghost armchair. It's an armchair which is entirely made in glass. It actually merges with the background, but gives you a feel of sitting on it. It's good to design. A very interesting products which is more into kink and into bondage is also going to come. It's passionate, it's sensual, but very interesting. So what you are seeing is a sculpture, but this is also impacting designs at large on furniture and products. So let me show you a bag which is inspired by kink and it's done by the Christian Dior. It's called Lady Dior bag. And if you see the bag, what you are seeing in the part, it's Morgan's design. She has designed a bag inspired by bondage. And it's a very interesting bag. It's a bound bondage bag. Interestingly, this can be done on a furniture. But before you do it, tie up with someone who understands this psychology. Just merely tying a product will not create a very interesting product, because these knots are also very important. The knots have its meaning, knot has its way of doing it, and a realistic, authenticated person can see this is done by a expert or not. So knotting is a part of rigging, and rigging is a part of kink, and this is coming in the product scenarios as such. If you are thinking about a design which is majorly for sensualists, this is something which you can look at. So we actually talked about these three broad mega themes: wanderers, homos, and dreamers. So let me take you to a direction of colors. So these are the color categories. So dreamers will be looking forward for this set of colors. Homos will be looking forward for this. If you see dreamers, these are all comfort colors. Homos will be looking forward slightly brighter, but also comfort colors. And wanderers will be looking forward for the colors which will be coming from the food, or we call them as a life or skin or environment. So these are three broad categories of the colors. If we move a little bit ahead out of the forecast and trend direction, note down your points. If you have any points to ask us, note down the points. We'll come down to this point, which you must be also thinking now: how can we align ourselves? Ourselves means as an exporter, as a brand, as a designer, how to align ourselves towards this design categories. Is there a method to align it? So I'll show you, or I will share a very simple method which I follow. It's my process and I do it. If you're referring it, give credit to me, but let me show you how it happens. But before that, let us also understand the 4 strong design directions which are going to lead us on 21-22. That means the time ahead. So these are the 4 broad design directions which is happening now. You have a category of repurposed and eco-friendly product. This category basically talks about a group of brands, a group of product developers who can create repurposed product. Anybody can create repurposed product, but you should be known for repurposing the product, right? You should be known for eco-friendly the product. So this is one category of the product direction. Another category product direction comes as functional and minimal. If you are making a product, you should focus on this category if you are into minimal product making scenarios, like the table where I showed the pens are kept on the table in a small group. So if you're thinking about products which are functional and minimal, where a consumer will only look for the function and nothing beyond that. They don't want decorations. They don't want bright colors. They don't want to show off, but they want to show off function. So this is a broad category of the product or the product line. Third line comes as fantasy, and it's a very interesting category where we are going to look forward for fantasy, sensuality as an element for happiness. This category of the consumers will be looking forward for products which has a good story, can actually take them to the dreamland where they can sit or watch and carry and be part of the dream. And this is what is going to happen. So this is going to be a big, large domain of products. We are going to have a fantasy, sensuality, and happiness-oriented product. If you are interested to make bright, colorful products, think about Takashi Maruma's design philosophy, think about how we do smileys, and think fantasy, and think what Dior is doing. And then in the fourth category, we have a very strong category of hyper-local products. Products which will be focused locally and will be focused into the community. That means these products will be focused on local material, local community, and local technology to produce those products. In this strong four categories, what is basically in the main ethos or in the middle is empathy. That means whenever or whatever product category you are choosing for, think about being empathetic to them who is using it and being empathetic to them who is producing it. So this is becoming a core of any of these product categories. Also think about protectiveness. Protectiveness means, is this product safe? Is this product helpful to people? Is this something what a child can use at a home? So think about this category. So this core will be in the middle, and then you have four categories to choose and select. Now don't think that I am only giving one category and you cannot move to the other category, or you cannot serve to another category. You can, but you should be known for one of these categories. So when a retailer approaches you, they know that you are mastered in that particular category of the product. You can do the others, absolutely, but this is what is your domain. But all of these will move around into something called circular economy. Circular economy is a big element, what's actually engulfing all the domain. Circular economy is how we produce the product, where it is going, and how it is going to be recycled. Are you going to look after the product after the purchase? Or are you going to look after the product when it's getting produced, or you're going to do both? Is it going to help an economy locally? So look at this model, think about this. Now you can start thinking, because this is the pointer what our workshop starts in. So think where your domain is or what domain you want to cater. So if I want to take you to the next stage, I'll show you an example of what American Eagle is doing. American Eagle Outfitters, you know, an American brand, it's a fast retail brand. When you want to jump into another category, for example, you want to move from, say, for example, you are into a hyper local, and you want to also go to fantasy, it's always better not to launch directly under the main brand. If you have a brand, you should always launch it as a sub brand. Why? Because your main impression as a product a designer or a product developer or a retailer or a manufacturer should focus. You can create a small sub brand and launch products under it, so that if it fails, your main brand is not getting affected. Your sub brand is the one which is getting affected. And if you see that the sub brand is growing, give more focus to the sub brand, and that works better. So we have done this for the automobile companies. You know that when Tata has launched a Range Rover or Rolls-Royce being launched, none of them being called as Tata Range Rover. They call as Range Rover, and somewhere small in the retail shop they will show Tata, right? So Range Rover is a big sub-brand under Tata. Tata doesn't focus on his brand name on the Range Rover. So you should do that. So sub-branding is a big good technique. You want to try on a different product category you are launching, right? And that works. So American Eagle has launched a sub-brand or a new brand called Unsubscribed. So Unsubscribed is a slow retail, whereas in contrary, American Eagle Outfitters is a fast retail. So they have launched a slow retail brand. They are saying the products will be taking a longer time to launch. They're also saying that it is socially conscious brand. So you can see that there is a very strong focus on socially conscious products. So American Eagle is doing it. So you can see what's happening across. So I'll give you a formula to understand how to deep dive. So I have shown you the trends. I've shown you a small design cheat sheet. So I'll also show you how to take elements from this design and create your own. So I'll give you a very simple formula of 3W and 1H. This formula will allow you to understand which trend you should pick and what trend you will deal at one time. So how it happens? First, please try to understand who are you. Are you a manufacturer? Yes. Are you a manufacturer of woodcraft? Yes. Are you a manufacturer of handmade woodcraft? Yes. Are you a manufacturer of woodcraft from a location? Say, for example, you are from UP's Muradabad, for example. Yes. So who you are, understanding your DNA at this moment is very important. And then sticking to that. You can do the other things, yes, but your main DNA should not change. Understanding who you are is first point, and also who are they. I'm not talking about your competitors. They means who is going to use this product. So try to understand whom you are catering to. The end users, are you catering to elite? Okay, fine. Are you catering to vegans? Yes. Are you catering to sustainables? Yes. So you know who you are before even choosing a trend from the mega forecast what it showed. Pick up your customer first and then pick up a client accordingly. And that's very important. And then focus on what you are dealing with. You are known for a home decor. Okay, fine. In home decor, you are known for making bigger furniture. Yes. No, you are home decor, you are known for making the lights and lampshades. Yes. So think about what you are dealing with. So your focus product category has to be fixed. So this becomes a second W. And then you come down to a level where you are talking about how you do it. Are you doing it by exporting? Are you into e-commerce business? Are you doing it to door-to-door sell? Are you into trunk sell? Are you selling it to a retailer? What is your business model? Right? You cannot do all. Believe me, you cannot do all. Those big retailers never had a manufacturing unit. If you want to really come to the retail, please have a separate entity which will take care of your retail. Don't mix both retail and manufacturing together. Nobody got successful into that. Big retailers don't have a manufacturing unit because that makes them shrunken, that makes them thinking only about their manufacturing capacities. So what you are into, what do you do is many important part. And then in the third part, our fourth part is very simple on why consumers will choose your product. Right? What is great about it? There are thousands of products in the market. What is great about your product to select when a buyer is coming to you or a consumer is coming to you? So if you can go by this formula of 3W and 1H, it becomes easy for you to decipher what product category or what kind of trend you are picking up at certain time. This is my website. You can always go through my presentations are mostly there. Pick up my website, go through there and find it out. If you want to connect me, that is my email, that's my phone number, and you can always connect me in LinkedIn. Absolutely fine. Or you can go to EPCH and then they can always send the mail to me. So that's no issues. Part. Thank you. So I'll open it for the discussions. I will stop sharing the slide. I'll open it for the discussion, and we have a great panelist above. And the panelists can take up the questions.
Thank you, Dr. Sengupta. Thank you. That was a masterclass by renowned futurist, academician, and trend forecaster, Dr. Kaustav Sengupta. We were given a cheat sheet for real-time product design. He also enumerated on post-pandemic global trend directions for, broadly speaking, wanderers and homers and dreamers, and how the products should be designed and created around the new needs and the changing times. Illustrating with beautiful, innovative products of future that are being developed by big designers and brands, he emphasized on rethinking about the future products and designing according to the new themes, and how different, how one can align one's products with the new trends, with keeping in mind the different design directions. Very, very useful masterclass by the master himself, an authority on this subject. And of course, I hope you all understood the formula of 3W and 1H given by him in the end. We have also been joined by Mr. Ravi K. Pasi. He's chairman of EPCH. Welcome, sir. And
Thank you.
And as I told you all before, that we have 4 entrepreneurs from Generation Next. They all are second generation entrepreneurs, and they would be putting their queries to Mr. Sen Gupta. Let me introduce briefly all these young entrepreneurs. We have with us Veenam Shankadhar. She is Director of DB Export India Private Limited, a manufacturing family business for lights and furniture. And she also founded Bifara, a retail brand for home decor that brings fresh designs to direct customers across the globe. Welcome, Veenam. And we also have with us Rishabh Bhansali. He's a chartered accountant and a company secretary, and he also is an IIM Ahmedabad graduate. He has also worked with Deloitte, and he has now 5 years of experience working for his home company, which has been working in handicrafts sector. And we also have Kirat Deepkaur. Hi, Kirat. She is director of Swift Corporation Limited. Her mother has been in the line for last 20 years, having developed beautiful lines of wooden and textiles in handicrafts. And Kirat is now taking steps to make her factories more digitally oriented and streamlining the production. And she wishes to make these companies more professionally attuned and more sustainable. And we also have with us Aditya Vikas Agarwal from Vikas Exports. Aditya, hi. So after the masterclass, I'm sure you're full of questions in your minds, and you can put forth these questions to Dr. Sen Gupta.
Hi, so can I start with my few questions that I have for sir?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so my first question is, what do you think will be the fastest growing category after the pandemic in the home segment? Will the home office continue to grow at a very fast rate? Because in terms of our export business right now, the home category is growing really fast.
If you're talking about home categories, let us not think about home as home. The home is going to move into office also. You have seen that. Home is also going to move into a restaurant, where the restaurants are actually moving into home. So a new trend is coming for the restaurant, where the chef is going to call individuals at home, and in a very safe environment, they are going to serve the food at home. So home is going to be broader. Home is going to come into everything across. So for example, if you remember earlier days, we used to have home theater. I don't know, it never happened to you, but it used to happen at our home, where one individual will have a TV and they will call all the neighbors to come home and watch TV, right? So cinema theaters are going to move into that direction, where it becomes much safer and much closer. And they are going to also go to outdoor, because there are a lot of cinemas or theaters are going to go open outdoor, where you can take your car, sit in a field and watch movies in your car. Home theaters are moving into different directions. So home furnitures, yes, that's going to be a big category. Home decors, products, home accessories are going to be coming at home. In fact, there will be accessories which will be launched specially for home. For example, when you are sleeping, you need a sleeping mat, you need a eye cover, you need those things which will be actually requiring for home. And you need also a small basket to carry your pet at office. So this home and office will be integrated together at large domain. So this is going to be increasing faster. Everybody is going to focus on that domain. The major problem what all the corporates are going to face, how to call people back to office. This whole need of working from home is not going to work for long, right? I will say it's need because it works for them who's into digitally working platform, but those who's actually working hands-on, it's very difficult to do from home. When I need to make a product, I cannot make it sitting at my home at large. Yes, if I'm making a homemade product, yes, but I cannot do it large. So major of the problem of the corporate is to bring them back into office. So how they are bringing back is to bring in all homemade, home-based furniture back in office. So a sofa should look like your lounge sofa. When you are going back to office, you feel home. That's why you saw furniture where it is allowing the pets to play on the furniture. So you can bring your pets, you can keep it in office. When you are walking, the pet is roaming around, you have a feel of home, right? Many of these offices are also going to give you a siesta break. That means many of us are now used to it sleeping at afternoon, right? Because you are at home, right? And when you go to the office, it's very difficult to change that. right? So they will be coming out with the siesta furnitures, which can be a table, but can be converted into a sofa to just have a break for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, right? So that kind of scenarios are going to come.
Thank you so much. And I have one more question. What are your views on the changing trends in the home kitchen? Since everyone's spending so much time at home, everyone's become passionate about cooking, and there are so many products that we can, as you mentioned, use pottery and uh, the loofah. So how can what are the broad changing trends in the home kitchen that we can cater to at this?
If you're talking about global trend, home kitchens are going to be not just a kitchen. It's a part of relationship because the couple is going to spend more time in kitchen together rather than their bedroom. So kitchen has to have that process of having chairs and tables for sitting and having a discussion, maybe low sitters. You know, the children will be roaming around in kitchen because they are always at home. So kitchen has to be children friendly because if you are having a stove, it has to be in a level where it is not reaching to a child, right? So products has to be smooth on corner because it can hit anybody when they are moving in kitchen. It has to be more organic in shape, right? And more softer products are coming in kitchen. It has to be safety because when you are entering in kitchen, think about a small hanger where you will still put a sanitizer and somebody will say, please sanitize your hand before you cook, right? So those elements of products are going to come back. There will be kitchen garden coming in a lot. So people will stop going to market. They'll have a kitchen garden. So kitchen should have a provision to have a garden. It can be a wall hydroponics garden where you are having the garden on the wall of the kitchen. You can just chop out from there and then put on the vegetables in the food. And that's what actually the market is moving. So you will have a kitchen garden. You will have a kitchen for relationship. You will have a kitchen for children. You'll also have very interesting kitchen as a safe space, right? This is going to be a large, long trend everywhere. Also, many of them will be moving towards a safe kitchen where they'll go for a solar kitchen, right? Where the kitchen will be running entirely into sustainable energy. It can be a solar panel which just goes out of the kitchen and the hot plate is powered like by it. So this kind of scenarios are going to come at large when you're talking about kitchen as a space.
Thank you so much for answering my.
Yeah, if anybody is into making carpets, think about kitchen for the carpet because a lady or a man is going to stand long in a kitchen. So think about antibacterial carpets where they will not have a bacteria in their feet because when they are standing on a kitchen, because they will have water and then all those smaller elements, right? Think about all those products. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And, it's been an amazing masterclass. So these were the two questions that I had broadly, and then we have the other panelists who can ask the questions. And then, yes. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody. We have a question from one of the attendees, Ramya. So she's asking, first of all, she's thanking you for the presentation, and her question is, do you think the Indian consumer is enough aware for sustainable and eco-conscious products? Dr. Costa.
They were not aware earlier, but the awareness is increasing because there are so many brands who is coming into the product category. But if you see the whole pandemic has converted us into be more eco-aware or sustainably concerned because we understood that if we are not properly handling our home garbage or home waste, it's going to smell at our home, right? And then it has to be composed or sent back to the composting zone. So our awareness has increased with the level of awareness in the global scenario. So there is a big domain of awareness which is happening majorly in the metro cities. Cities and sector cities, yes, it's happening a lot. And believe me, if we are talking about villages, there are already enough sustainable. The problem of sustainability happens in the cities. Villages are enough sustainable how they build their houses, how they eat their food and where the foods go, right? So the sustainability as an issue is majorly into the developed cities. And yes, they are becoming more aware slowly because there are so many brands I can see coming out in that domain as part of it. And if it's not about the health, they are becoming aware because that's a unique product, innovative product, a product to have a story and talk about. Right? So any awareness starts with that point. If I have a sustainable product, I would like to show it off in my Instagram, right? And it becomes an Instagram worthy product, right? And that's also another approach to look at.
I would like to add something here and just extend this question a little bit forward. I agree completely that everybody wants to move towards a sustainable future, especially after this pandemic. And, there have been statistics in your research itself that, people want to be environmentally conscious. People want to be more empathetic, post this lockdown. But having said that, a lot of times a sustainable product, especially for us exporters, it doesn't come at a cheap price. We have to have that extra cost inbuilt into having a sustainable product or even a sustainable organization. A lot of products that become very cheap are because of cheap labor laws, cheap the way people treat their staff, and keep their sanitization and all of those factors. So having said all of this, what are your thoughts about maintaining a balance between economic feasibility and ecological sustainability? Like, how can we move forward in times to kind of make sure that we're giving the consumer what they want? However, not everybody's happy to pay that extra price for it.
Thanks for asking this question. I have gone through your note also, and I appreciate both of you to pick up this point. If you see the need pyramid, what I have shown you in the beginning, if you remember, in India, the need of sustainable product is still in the level of self-actualization. So those who believes and those who thinks they are different, or those who thinks really about the environmental concern, they are the one who is actually looking for sustainable product. It's not yet for all. Globally, it's not yet for all. And if you see global scenario, it's not yet for all. But believe me, the small number, what sounds smaller for self-actualizations, are quite a big number when we consider India. So I mean to say the population of youngsters, I mean to say at least millennials, many of them are looking for sustainable products, right? And the number of millennials in India is actually the population of Australia, right? And it's going to be the population of America next year. So the millennials numbers are actually that. So the market is huge. So don't try to think that sustainability is going to be a basic need for all, right? No, because in our economical level, many of them are just buying a product to satisfy their basic need. I cannot afford anything. I can just afford a mobile phone to send an SMS and a call. I cannot buy a sustainable product. I cannot think about what will happen to this plastic when I throw this mobile, right? But there is a big number of people who is looking forward for self-actualization or esteem. And in these two categories, it's quite a large market for any retailer to look at, right? So if you see that, they are the one who is going to pay the price for this product because they want to be very different than for them who is looking for a basic needed product, right? What is our key point here is that when you are producing a sustainable product, when you are telling them that this is expensive, give a good story behind it. Seen how Dior launched its product. They have come out with a movie. They have come out with a visual expression. They have come out with a model shoot and the proper story about that whole fantasy. So if somebody is buying that fantasy, they are not buying the product. They are buying the story. Because if I buy the product, I know the fabric is made in India, stitched in some other developing country. Why should I pay that much for a Dior product, right? Right. So if you see that, there are brands who is telling a good story. So please invest in developing a good story. It's not only about developing a good product. Good product, yes, absolutely necessary because that's the need or a backbone of your DNA, right? It has to be sustainable, but how to tell that story convincingly and how to give a tool to the consumer. For example, I bought my iPhone, right? When iPhone I bought, I know iPhone has given me a story because there is a logo. The moment I talk, the logo is in this direction. It's such a big size that anybody can see its iPhone, right? And that's the story being given. So give a story to the consumer. Maybe we can have a different discussion later on how to build up a story because that's very important. Your product is this, that's point one. Story is point two because that's what everybody looks for. Bye.
So if one justifies the extra cost which is coming with the sustainability of the product by telling the story, then consumer will buy it.
See, very interesting. I'll tell you a simple story. Like for example, suddenly in the beginning of the lockdown, we started seeing those dolphins roaming around in Italy, in a particular Italian city's water body, right? And then we saw those pictures, we started dreaming that within a month, our country is going to be that, right? And we then found that it was a built-up story. It was not real. Somebody superimposed a dolphin's picture, and it's not real, right? And then we started getting real stories. For example, we saw it in Kerala happening, something moving on the street. We saw the story of deers coming on the street, and we started believing that there is a change happening because of COVID-19, which is a positive thing to see. So when you want to put up a positive thing, you have to add stories, and people like stories, right? And that's what happens.
So your family and you have been in the business of home decor and exporting furniture and lights for quite some time now. Do you have any question for Professor Sengupta?
I do actually, yes. So the question that I had, first of all, thank you so much for arranging this, and thank you so much, Dr. Costa, for gracing your presence and actually educating us on so many things that you've just told us, because there's so much that we didn't know and now we're more aware of it. We only had an idea, but now we know that this is what's happening. So one of the most important questions that I keep having in my mind is that all these craftsmanship and artisans, they've already been faced with a very challenging part during demonetization. And now with this, it's not a very huge gap between the demonetization and now, that these people have, of course, they've not found enough work, and we've seen how migrants have gone back to their villages and respective, areas. How do you think that we can manage to design products that will also cater to their needs, and to make sure that these craftsmen and artisans and their skills do not die out, while we're also working on sustainability and products like that require regenerations again and again? So what is your suggestion there?
Good question. So I think it's an eternal question everybody has. What's going to happen to the craftsmen and our craft sector? I've been working with craft sector for almost more than 25 years. But believe me, our craft sector has sustained more difficulty earlier than what they are facing, because they have faced British, they have faced colonial rule, they have not faced doubt. They have faced wars, 2 world wars happened, they have faced famine, and these were much larger than what happened now. But what's interesting here is that they have gone back. Many of them, those who was not belonging to the cluster, we're talking about migrants or the empowered workers from the craft sector, have gone back. One positive thing happened. The positive thing what happened is that they have taken back the craft to their own states. Now, I was just reading an article from the Bihar ministry. They are saying that they are going to start craft clusters in Bihar because they have done a small survey and they have understood that there are so many potentials among those who have come back as migrant laborers and they can stitch garments. So government of Bihar, it's a good initiative. They are starting export zones in Bihar where they can recruit them in Bihar rather than sending them out at level, right? Also at one end, I also understood a very interesting tweet I saw a few days back, and then it got retweeted a few days back. You must have seen that. There's one individual who is working with a Maithili painting on mask, right? And then somebody must have told him that it's very good to go to Twitter and start tweeting the product. He started tweeting it. Every mask, hand-painted mask, costs 50 rupees. That's only 50 rupees. And he's doing at home. His whole family is doing it. He's taking real-time videos and photographs and putting it in tweet. Right. What happened? Everybody started retweeting it, right? And that's the power of media. That's the power of Element. And yesterday I have seen a message, a very strong message from Mr. Mahindra. He has said that I would like to buy quite a lot of these masks because I would like to support the industry, right? Maybe the masks are not as functional as those antibacterial, antiviral masks with the N and all those things, right? But this is a beautiful mask, hand painted, and then the individual is actually going into the social media, maybe he or his son or daughter is doing it, and then producing it. So it's direct connect from the cluster to the buyer. And that's happening because of this pandemic. That's going to be a large trend in this pandemic. So if you can facilitate that, that's the best thing you can do, right? You can facilitate this because you are the generation to that, right? I have seen interiors of Rajasthan, 300 kilometers away from Rajasthan. They make beautiful shoes, jutis, right? They don't have power, they don't have machineries. Government is doing their best to support, but they don't have a social media reach. Can you go and reach down to those clusters and then help them to tie up with the buyers? Not creating a very formal platform, but being an individual, because everybody now likes individual. So you being an individual who's empowered with the power of a buyer, and then they're being an individual as a face, because everybody likes to see the face, your face and their face, right? We have gone through an era where we can see a platform. There's no more platform where I want to buy. I want to buy right from the client or right from the producer. Right?
You're absolutely right on that. Yeah. Yes, because now people have this mindset that they don't want to buy anything that's fast fashion or that's built in, you know, that's produced in bulk.
Yep.
I mean, I think even before COVID, this mindset had started to change. They didn't want to buy from, you know, people or brands who were producing in bulks. They wanted to go towards brands or artists that were doing small pieces and supporting themselves with their art. That's absolutely true, and I agree with that. That's a very good point. Yes.
I also would like to add here is that because all of the exporters sitting here and the GenNext is also here, look at India as a market. Right? Export may not open very fast, but India itself is a great market ahead, right? And they have a potential. Now Chinese products or any other imported products may not come in India because of the import bans, because of COVID pandemic. That's one way good, because then you have an opportunity to work in domestic market. Everybody is looking at you at this moment, right? And you are the one who can supply things. So use your handicraft, use your product techniques, tell a good story, connect and show the face of the producer. This is Mahindra Bhai who is producing this particular kind of a Ajrak dye, and then he is the person. So I am buying this product from this person. He is getting the full money. I am only taking 30% from him because I am just coordinating it. Be transparent. Everybody likes transparency.
Yeah, so if you see the light in the darkness, then, you know, we can make good of any situation. A situation like pandemic, it can really be, you know, very useful for our artisans, because now we are looking at locally made goods.
Yeah. You want to pick up any question from the box? Anyone wants to pick up and ask me?
I do. First of all, sorry, I didn't. Thank you for your presentation before. It is a wonderful thing that we, you know, I didn't know a lot of things that we've discussed today. However, what I did want to ask was, you know, we've talked about work from home becoming the new normal. A lot of corporates are going to maybe stop leasing offices as well because it's so much easier and saves costs. How do you propose, because a lot of our exporters are into textiles, into manufacturing of textiles. So how do you propose textiles to be involved in the home office space? You showed a lot of wooden handicrafts and a lot of you know, different sort of products. And then also this is related to a question here by Rajiv, which says, what will be the trends for table linen, like tablecloth, table runners and placemats? Would end customers be interested in covering their beautiful table with linen? And then also what I was asking was in particular to cushions, throws, curtains, things as such.
So if you see that, I felt furniture and the textile goes together. So it's one category of the product. So I mean, in certain countries, they cannot think about a table without a table linen, because the country is so cold. You cannot just keep a table, right? You have to put a linen anyway on top of it, right? And then it is part of their culture to add a textile on a furniture, right? It can be a linen, it can be a home furnishing, it can be a thrower, it can be a table mat, table runner. It can be even a window curtain, because these are the important parts. And textile being a basic need of a human being, it's a part of our culture as a human, because we use textile everywhere. It gives you a tactile feel, you know. So furnitures are mostly dry. Textiles adds a value, so you cannot change furniture. What you can change is the textile cover on top of it. right? And that's why textiles are very important part for a furniture. So when you talk about textiles, maybe today a consumer will also look forward for a safe textile, right? Safe textile means similarly when I'm bringing a textile a material at home, was it produced in a safer environment? Was it hygienic? Was it sanitized before coming back to my home? So when you are working on this field, think about that. But a new domain of textile has opened, what we call as a herbal textile. Think about that domain because we have seen a lot of masks coming in herbal textile. Think about home furnishings coming in herbal textile, treated with aloe vera, treated with haldi, treated with natural dyes. Think about the data domain because post-pandemic, everybody will be looking forward for something safeguarding the health. And that's a big domain to look at when you are talking about textile materials. But yes, there will be a big domain who is looking forward for beautiful, colorful materials, which is known from India. India is known for our colors, we are known for our decorations. So if you're talking about homers, there's already a category of shiners who looks for beautiful, shining, bright color products. Similarly, we have a category of artistics who will look forward for the decorated artistic products. So our textiles are going to be there. How you define it and how you produce it is very important. I'll give an example of it is how Ola and Uber has changed. Now, you know, the moment you want to book a Ola and Uber, they'll send you saying that this is a sanitized vehicle. The is tested and driver temperature is given, right? So now production has to move in that level. When you send a shipment, you have to give a sanitization certificate, right? You have to give also saying that it's produced by a person who is not affected by any pandemic. I'm not only talking about COVID-19 because after that there might be a series of pandemics coming, right? And that's in our mind, right? So textile is something which actually reaches to our body, not our main furniture. So textile will be more effective with this kind of a pandemic. So our main focus to be a safe and secure textile, a beautiful textile, and a textile with a link of Ayurveda or herbal scenarios. That's what it's going to be.
So there's also a question regarding costume and fashion jewelry. Somebody wants to ask if there's any new emerging trends in this segment.
Okay, I have not touched much about the jewelry here because we had a presentation earlier on jewelry. So I thought this is only for the handicrafts and categories. But if you're talking about jewelry, the three domains mindsets remain same. We will have a good group of people who will look for accessories to wear at home. Why? Because two reasons. When you are sitting in front of a webcam, you should look nice. You should wear a good earring. You should wear a good pendant. At least your hair should look nice. So your jewelry need remains same. There is already a word called top of the keyboard accessories. So accessories which are basically above the keyboard is going to be more popular because you are sitting in front of the camera. And that's where the domain of accessories comes in. One set of accessories will be to come under sensuality because accessories are also part of the sensuality. Actually make each one happy. If you're talking about a couple, accessories makes a big part on it. Also, accessories will be part of rejuvenation because lava stone is coming in accessories, or you can dip into a perfumed oil and that gives you a perfume for whole day to make you distressed. So domains will be there, artistic accessories are also there. Maybe we can go back to the last presentation and have a discussion later on jewelry separately. This was majorly the handicrafts.
So thank you, Dr. Sen Gupta. It was wonderful having you once again. Earlier also we had a knowledge session with you and hope the Gen Next will benefit from this. Before concluding this, we have Mr. Ravi Pasi, Chairman EPCH. Sir, any thoughts which you would like to share with us?
I was there in our last presentation also, so maybe talks that can be.
Yes.
Good afternoon to everybody. And Mr. Sen Gupta, I think last time also he did many these type of things also. So मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा जितने भी हमारे एक्सपोर्टर्स हैं या नए एक्सपोर्टर हैं या और कई एक्सपोर्टर बनना चाह रहे हैं, कई आर्टिसंस हैं जो हर साल तकरीबन मेरा ख्याल है 2 या 3% के हिसाब से एक्सपोर्टर बनते हैं और हम ट्राई करते हैं कि उनकी पूरी हेल्प की जाए कि हाउ टू बिकम एक्सपोर्टर्स how to do, what are the formalities. We do everything for them also. As I worked as a co-chairman in NCDPD, Ministry of Textile, for 7.5 years also, before this EPCH also. And I know how the colors are making your future. कलर के बिना लाइफ बिल्कुल नहीं है, कलर के बिना कोई बिजनेस नहीं है, डिजाइनिंग के बिना कोई बिजनेस नहीं है. पहले हमारा यहाँ पे क्या होता था, एक कोई हाथी बना दिया, हाथी को जस्ट बैठा दिया, मगर हमने उनको ये भी बोला कि देखिए आप हाथी बनाइए, हाथी के ऊपर कोई टेबल लगा दो, कोई लकड़ी लगा दो, सो दैट यू कैन यूज एज ए टेबल ऑल्सो. तो वो ट्रेंड भी चले, लोगों ने किया और लोगों ने उसके अंदर काफी अच्छे काम भी किए. रही बात कलर्स रूम के अंदर, अगर रूम छोटे हैं, आजकल घर भी छोटे ही हैं, लोग फ्लैट्स में रहते हैं, तो उसके अंदर कलर कौन से जो लाइट कलर्स हैं जिसमें आप बैठे हैं. और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आफ्टर दिस नाउ पैंडमिक, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वी हैव टू सिट इन आवर रूम ऑल्सो कि भाई यहाँ ये काम करना है. अब पहले तो ये है कि 12 घंटे बाहर निकाल दिए और रात को आए, फिर किसी पार्टी में चले गए, पता चलता है कि 6 घंटे हम सिर्फ घर में रहते थे. मगर अब ये उल्टा हो गया. अब तो शायद मेरा ख्याल है कि 22 घंटे हमें घर में रहना पड़ता है, 2 घंटे अगर मिल जाएं तो बाहर देख लेते हैं. आई थिंक दैट इज आल्सो नॉट पॉसिबल. इवन वी डिड आवर वर्चुअल fair inauguration yesterday on website, you know, it was all webinar. तो मैं यही बोलूँगा नई जनरेशन को कि आप थोड़ा सा धैर्य रखें, क्योंकि वर्ल्ड चेंज हो चुका है, चेंज बिल्कुल हो गया है. सुपरनेचर पावर क्या चाहती है, एटमॉस्फेयर क्लीन चाहती है. और मैं एक और चीज़ जो और कहना चाह रहा हूँ, आत्मनिर्भर भारत, ये बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है. अभी एक किसी ने क्वेश्चन भी पुट किया था, और ये बात ठीक है कि ये आज से 30 साल पहले मुझे याद है पानीपत के अंदर सारे हैंडलूम के ऊपर मैट्स बनते थे और लोगों को बहुत काम मिलता था, बहुत काम मिलता था. उसके बाद इन्होंने सेमी पावर हैंडलूम बना दी, यानी कि एक मोटर लगा दी, तो उसके अंदर क्या हुआ कि 50% जो लेबर थी वो वापस चली गई. देन उन्होंने पूरा ही उसको पावर लूम पे बना दिया, और जो लेबर थी, जो आर्टिसंस थे, कोई रिक्शा चला रहा है, कोई स्कूटर चला रहा है, कोई वापसी नहीं आया. तो मेरा ख्याल वो ये टाइम आ गया है कि हमें जो हैंडलूम की चीजें हैं, जो कारीगर बनाता है, मे बी वी हैव टू पे एक्स्ट्रा 10-20%, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि वो अपने देश में जाएगा, अपने देश के कारीगरों को काम मिलेगा, बजाय कि हम इतना सामान ऐसे कंट्री से मंगवाएं जो यहाँ पे ट्रम्प करता है हमारे. और ऐसे कंट्री का सामान हमें कभी, मेरा ख्याल, उसको बाइकआउट करना चाहिए. जो चीज़ जरूरत है ठीक है, आप उसको इंपोर्ट के लिए मंगवा सकते हैं, मगर नॉट लाइक के छोटी छोटी चीज़ें. इवन सुई हमारे यहाँ क्या नहीं बन सकती, हम लोग बिल्कुल उसको भी शुरू कर दिया है. तो मेरी ये आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, नई जनरेशन से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप जितने भी आर्टिसंस कारीगर हैं उनसे प्यार से बात करें, उनको जो हैंडलूम जो खुद बनाता है उसको प्रोत्साहन करें. आओ भी ठीक है, तुम ये चीज़ दो. और जहाँ तक ये वर्ड बिल्कुल अंडरस्टैंड कर चुका है, कई बायर से मेरी फॉरेनर से बात होती है कि आर यू इंटरेस्टेड इन हैंडलूम थिंग्स, हैंडमेड थिंग्स आल्सो. दे सेड यस, वी आर रेडी. सो माय बेस्ट विशेस आर आल्सो विद यू फॉर दिस virtual fair starting on Monday 30th. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman sir. And with that, we conclude this masterclass by Dr. Sen Gupta. We thank all the panelists of Gen Next who were there with us and who shared their thoughts and who got to learn so much from Dr. Sen Gupta. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to EPCH and Dr. Sen Gupta for an amazing